Do you believe in ghosts as well?
No.
You might.
Okay, take a listen, Mr. Norman. It's a first for one of Houston's most popular tourist sites. The Battleship Texas has now been investigated by a group of, ghost hunters.
You guys ready? I'm gonna blow your minds with this one.
I believe in spooks. I do believe in spooks. I do.
A jeep, a drone, and an old man. Galveston, Texas, boasts to be the most haunted city in the United States. Notice I said city. I'm not talking about objects. I'm not talking about places. I'm talking about the entire city. This is mostly due to the storm of 1900. The island was 4 to 12 feet lower at that time, and there was no seawall. The number of exact deaths is not known. It is placed between 6,000 and 12,000 people, and at the time the island had a population of just under 40,000 people. Bodies washed up on shore weeks afterwards. Mass graves were produced all around the island. What better place to bring what many consider to be a haunted battleship? Now, do you believe the Battleship Texas is haunted? Stick around to the end of this video if you want to know what I think. There was, as we all know, just one battlefield death on the Battleship Texas during the Cherbourg operation on D-Day. But that does not mean that was the only death aboard ship. My research has shown me that the number of deaths that occurred during construction, her service, and possibly even after her service is actually unknown. There are, however, other known deaths aboard the Battleship Texas. Let's go through as many as I could find online. I've got some videos produced by other people that I'm going to show you. And at the end of this video, you decide, have you ever been on board and heard something strange? Now, we're talking about a very old battleship made out of metal. Metal, as we all know, carries sound very well. So you could hear a bolt drop down in the engine room throughout a large part of that ship. So sounds on the ship are not uncommon. However, it's not just sounds that have been seen aboard the ship, or heard aboard the ship, I guess, in that case. You tell me what you think. Is there a possibility the ship is haunted? Do you not even believe in that kind of thing? Everybody tell me down in the comments your opinion, because that's why we're all here, to discuss opinions and let the facts hopefully surface to the top.
The historic battleship down in LaPorte that's long rumored to be haunted. People have sworn they could hear whispers.
Now for a price, you can spend the night on board and do a little ghost hunting. Here's David Gonzalez.
During World War II, USS Texas was home to more than 1,800 officers and crew. Some of them did die on this ship, but it's up to you to decide if it's haunted.
Find what you look for.
The ship is filled with stories of the men who lived and tragically died on board.
Some of them through accidents, some of them went overboard, some of them got sick and expired. We had one battle fatality.
The old vessel sharing its story the only way she knows how.
So there's all sorts of things that can create noises and potentially scare somebody.
Yeah. People messing with each other, right?
That can happen too, yep.
Now a group plans to explore the ship on a whole other level by hunting ghosts.
Having that connection is a really exciting thing for a lot of people, and I'm sure that's what they're looking for.
Some visitors are hesitant, but open to the idea.
I've never had an encounter with the ghosts or anything of that nature, so therefore I do not believe in it, but that's just me.
Those who know its history say visitors shouldn't be afraid of the spirits of the servicemen that roam the battleship.
It's a wonderful place to remember them and remember their service.
Reporting on board Battleship Texas, David Gonzalez, KHOU 11 News.
There are numerous ghost stories about the Battleship Texas, many coming from visitors, staff, and paranormal investigators. While none are officially verified, they do add to the ship's eerie reputation. Here are some of the most well-known accounts. There were several deaths involved in the construction of the Battleship Texas. While detailed records of every fatal accident during her construction are scarce, historical accounts indicate that fatalities were common in shipbuilding during the early 20th century due to hazards in working conditions. The Battleship Texas is no exception. The USS Texas was built at Newport News Shipbuilding and Dry Dock Company in Virginia, with her keel laid in 1911 and launched in 1912. Given the nature of shipyard work at the time, featuring high scaffolding, heavy steel plates, riveting, and dangerous machinery, accidents regularly happened. It is estimated that 3 to 7 deaths occurred during the construction of the Battleship Texas. One of the most frequently reported paranormal encounters involves a shadowy figure seen in the engine room. Several visitors and workers claims to have seen a dark human-like shape moving between the machinery, only for it to vanish when you approach it. Some believe this could be the spirit of a crew member who died while working in the ship's lower levels. Many people have reported hearing voices echoing through the hallways, particularly in the crew quarters and medical bay. Some of these voices are described as whispers, while others sound like full conversations. Footsteps have also been heard in the empty corridors, as if someone unseen is pacing the decks. One of the most famous stories involves a ghostly sailor seen standing on the deck late at night. Witnesses say he appears to be wearing an Old Navy uniform and is staring out over the water before he suddenly disappears. Some suggest that he was a sailor keeping watch over the seas during battle, and forever will do so.
Do you believe in ghosts as well?
No. You might.
Okay, take a listen, Mr. Norman. It's a first for one of Houston's most popular tourist sites. The Battleship Texas has now been investigated by a group of, ghost hunters. 11 News reporter Dave Failing has our story about the paranormal and shows us what the group caught on camera.
A spring shower could not keep them away.
This is where they eat. Do not climb the steps.
People who wanted to see the Battleship Texas, seeing where sailors slept and ate, and where some died. This ship provided gunfire support in some of the country's epic battles, including D-Day and Iwo Jima. It is full of history. It's raining out here. But some think it could also be full of ghosts.
Personal experiences have happened, which leads us to believe it could be haunted.
For those who believe in the paranormal, the Battleship Texas has been one of their most sought-after sites for investigation. It is one of the state's leading historic attractions, a floating monument to those who fought and died in 2 world wars.
We've probably gotten dozens of phone calls.
But the managers of the ship, who work for the state's Parks Division, told us that paranormal investigators have wanted to do what the state could not allow.
Typically, they want to explore areas of the ship that aren't safe for the general public to go into. They want unfettered access.
At least 2 groups in Houston have wanted to get on board. One is Houston Ghost Town Paranormal Investigations.
We were hoping to be the first ones, yes.
The other, Southern Paranormal Investigations and Research.
I assured them that we're here with the utmost respect.
Its members decided they could work within the state's restrictions.
It wasn't a conventional investigation. We didn't have run of the full ship.
But investigate they did.
Watch. Boom.
On a Saturday night a week ago, they took their video cameras and audio recorders
And we caught some crazy sounds.
and went looking for evidence.
It was really above and beyond what we were expecting.
If you're expecting to see the ghosts of dead sailors roaming the decks, you will be disappointed. The group says that's never its expectation.
Right there.
But this is. See that at the top of the photo? What looks like a little cloud? A second later, they said it was gone. And did anyone see that while you were there? No. This is only when you look at the photographs later.
If you go by that right there and you say, well, is that a ghost? I say, no, it's not a ghost. I say it's some form of vapor that has appeared in this room.
They also picked up strange noises. Unless you're into the paranormal, though, they may not sound like much. You'll hear the investigators talking, then, very faintly, what sounds like someone saying yes. Like we said, it may not sound like much, but to the group,
Very interesting.
they say only with further investigation will they be able to say if the Battleship Texas is truly haunted.
It takes multiple times. You have to gather a lot of data.
Which brings us back to the other day when we were there. Some college students were volunteering, helping repaint the old ship. They were working in the very area where the paranormal group had been. And what did they see?
I don't think we saw anything per se.
I haven't seen any ghosts.
No ghosts. Or were there? Dave Failing, 11 News.
Now you decide.
In 1948, the USS Texas arrived in Houston to become America's first permanent battleship museum, and that's where the ghost stories begin. While the ship was involved in numerous battles, its crews suffered only one combat fatality. However, those same battles may be the cause of the ship's most famous apparitions. Visitors report mysterious white vapors that appear suddenly throughout the ship and strange voices heard when no one else is around. An often seen ghost is a young red-headed sailor in uniform seen wandering through the ship halls or standing at the foot of ladders. The description given DOES and matched the one known casualty, so it assumed he a former crew member with a supernatural attachment to his old ship. With the money already budgeted and awaiting the governor's signature for the old ship to be moved to Driddock, repaired and then moved to a new location, Haunted Rooms America has stepped up its ghost tours and is now offering overnight stays with psychics and paranormal equipment, including trigger objects, EMF readers and spirit boxes. While the Battleship Texas is said to be one of the most haunted places in the state, there are no guarantees that visitors will see a ghost.
Battleship Texas, deep within the bowels of the ship, and there's one more level below. They do have ghost hunts here, so this is a perfect spot to just hang out. I've heard noises already. People making knocks, shuffling sounds.
The constant repairs are not the only consequence of the ship's old age, as the Texas has also been the location of many ghost sightings and stories, with some claiming that the battleship is haunted. Recently, there have even been ghost tours of the ship, specifically exploring the ship and trying to find the paranormal activity that occurs there. The claims of supernatural occurrences are very mysterious yet intriguing. For example, some people have heard strange voices and echoes of sailors barking orders and screaming as if they were still engaged in combat. The most prominent case is the common sighting of a friendly ghost known as the red-headed sailor, described as a young man dressed in a very old uniform who was sometimes seen happily wandering the halls with a jolly smile on his face. Believers speculate that he is the ghost of a former sailor who enjoyed serving on the Battleship Texas in his youth.
Now, if you've made it this far, that means you stuck around to find out what my opinion of a haunted Battleship Texas is. Everybody is more than welcome to their own opinion. Everybody is more than welcome to their own beliefs. However, I personally do not believe in ghosts. I do not believe in hauntings. And the battleship is just the battleship. The only things on there alive are the people working on it and the people taking tours on it. Now, I know what you're going to say, but ghosts are not alive. Yes, they're not, supposedly. There are no ghosts on the Battleship Texas in this guy's opinion. Like I say, you are more than welcome to your own opinion. I want everybody to have their own opinion. That way nobody tries to take mine away. So, there you have it. That's my opinion. The Battleship Texas is not haunted. What people are hearing are the creaks, groans, and things being dropped in a metal ship that is over 100 years old. It's gonna have sounds, so does my house. That's it for today. It's been a Jeep, a drone, and an old man. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching to this point. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and drink your root beer. See you later. Appreciate you coming by.